Your personal information is never as safe as you think it is. And I mean that. Every form you fill out, every application you sign, every account you open, you're trusting a stranger with the details of your life. Most of the time, that's fine, until it isn't. You can spend years doing everything right, and then one stranger you've never even met can unravel all of it. Today, I'm covering a Lifetime movie that is absolutely worth your time. What it's about, why your middle schooler needs to see it, exactly what's in it before you press play, and the 2 lessons from this film that are even more important now than when it was made back in 2006. Be sure to stick around because toward the end, I'm going to share the one thing I actually do with my own kids to help protect them online. Welcome to Wholesome TV Picks. I'm your host, Jennifer, and this is the only podcast where every recommendation is backed by 35 years of watching wholesome TV, so you never waste another night on the wrong pick. Let's get into it. Today I'm going to talk about Identity Theft, the Michelle Brown story. It was originally a Lifetime movie released in 2006, but the actual story happened in 2004. Michelle Brown has spent her whole life dreaming about buying her first home. She does everything correctly in order to achieve her dream. But it was during the process of buying her home that was the start of her nightmare. A woman named Connie Volkos gets a hold of Michelle's personal information through the mortgage loan application Michelle dropped off at the office where Connie works. A routine mortgage application, something you may never think about twice. And Connie takes that information and ends up going on a binge shopping spree. She's buying everything she's wanted, opening accounts, getting a car, living the life she always wanted on someone else's dime. Have you ever had to deal with all the paperwork that comes after losing a loved one? The death certificate, closing bank accounts, notifying Social Security, insurance forms, all of it while you're exhausted? If you've gone through it, then you know exactly what a process it is and how time-consuming it is. Now imagine going through all of that and then some, except you're still alive. That's Michelle. She's dealing with the DMV, putting fraud alerts on all the credit bureaus, changing bank accounts, calling credit card companies, disputing debt that isn't hers. And when my daughter watched this with me to prep for this episode, she kept saying, "My gosh, this woman does not stop. This is insane. How does she even go on?" Surprisingly, this movie is completely clean. I know if I was Michelle, I'm sure I would have a few choice phrases to say to all the people I would be talking to out of frustration. There's no cursing, no gore. However, around the 43 or 44-minute mark, there is a brief scene where Michelle and her boyfriend are kissing in bed, and it lasts maybe 3 to 5 seconds, but they're interrupted with the phone call. They ignore it, but once the woman on the other line is leaving a message, it stops. Then the attention goes to Michelle trying to deal with the phone call. It's nothing graphic and it's very quick, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. Toward the end of the film, there's also a scene with a gun. Connie's in a very dark place and is contemplating suicide. She doesn't go through with it, and it's just her briefly pointing it to herself, and she graciously gives the gun to the police so you can decide whether to watch it with younger kids in the room. There's a whole lot to this movie that will lead to some great conversations with your middle schoolers and high schoolers that I think are worth pointing out. The 2 biggest lessons I believe this film shows is that hard work matters and how important it is to protect your personal information. Michelle is living proof of that. She did everything the right way, and Connie is the complete opposite. Someone who wants the result without the work and believes she just had bad luck in life. The film does not glamorize it. At one point, Connie is very upset and says to her boss at work, "I could work here for 20 years and I'll never be able to buy a house or a new car or even a skirt because I want to." That's a powerful moment to pause with your kids because the film makes it very clear. We all have choices, and those choices determine where we end up. That's exactly why this second lesson is one that was important in 2006, but in 2026, it's not optional anymore. And that's protecting your personal information. This movie was made when identity theft was really in its infancy. At the end, there's a small note that tells the audience that in 2024, 10 million Americans had their identities stolen. Just think about how much bigger that number is today. This is one of the reasons I think every middle schooler and high schooler needs to see this film. Not to scare them, but to show them in a real concrete way why this stuff matters. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you actually thought about where your email address is sitting right now? How many forms, places, apps has it been handed over to? Here's the tip that I promised you. We don't hand out our real email address for any online signups. We use an alias through Proton Mail, so our actual information stays completely hidden. If and when an alias starts getting spammed, you just delete it and create a new one. Your real email is never exposed. It takes about 5 minutes to set up, but it does require a subscription every year. But that subscription fee is a small price to pay in the long run. These small changes can help guard your personal information. That's exactly what I do for my children. My children have an email address, but it's cloaked by an alias, and that's what they use when they sign up for things online. If you want an even easier way to find your next pick, head to wholesometvpicks.com and sign up for my email list. You'll get instant access to a curated list of movies and TV shows organized by category: kids, moms and dads, heroes, and more. Identity Theft, the Michelle Brown story, is a wholesome TV pick that actually teaches your family something. It's clean, compelling, and it will start a conversation in your house that matters. The film runs about 90 minutes. It stars Kimberly Williams Paisley and Jason London. You can find this movie on Tubi TV, the Roku channel, Prime Video, Sling TV, Plex TV. I'll leave links in the show notes so you can just click and watch. Oh, one more thing. Wholesome TV Picks is nominated for the Women's Podcasters Award. Voting opens next month, and I would truly love your support. I'll drop the link in the show notes as the voting window draws closer. Coming up next week, what happens when a washed-up 80s pop star needs a hit song and finds it in the most unexpected person? A whole lot of fun. Don't miss it. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week. And remember, your values matter and your TV should too. I'll catch you next week.